Welcome to the French Press Podcast. It is episode 512.
And it's Tuesday, March 25th, 2025.
That's super quiet.
That is quiet. I think this thing needs to go up.
Here, let's try that.
There we go.
There we go.
That's enough.
All right. Thanks for joining us today on the French Press Podcast. We've got Leighton here. 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
Wow. The
like
stars must have aligned.
Like a bonus episode.
What is more unlikely than Leighton being on the podcast twice in consecutive weeks?
A complete solar eclipse.
I think you're right.
I think you're right, too.
I think that's a good one.
All right. We got Nicholas here as well.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
So today, Leighton called me on the way to the podcast, and he said he apologized. He was very sorry and sad and embarrassed. And he said, last week, I asked him, what did he want to talk about on the podcast today? And he said, I forgot to mention last week, there actually was a book that I read this last year. So go ahead and share. Okay. The question from last week was, what book did you read last year that changed your life or impacted your life in a day-to-day kind of way?
I mean, I don't know if this qualifies because it didn't actually impact it. I think it did impact me a little bit. It changed the way how I thought about something. Okay? So the book that I listened to it's called Dangerous Calling. And I actually forget who the author is. But Dangerous Calling, and it's a book written to pastors about pastoral burnout and just some of the dangers of the calling, you know. And I would say the main point of the book, or at least one of the main points, is like an emphasis on the pastors are human. And they, even though they're pastors, they are sheep first, just like any other sheep, you know? Mm-hmm. And with that, they have needs just like any other sheep. Mm-hmm. And in Ephesians 5, it says that, actually, no, I'm sorry, I think it's Ephesians 4, where it talks about the gifts. The Spirit dispersed gifts. You know, gave some evangelists, some teachers, some apostles, some prophets. And then in that it says for the equipping of the saints for the work of ministry. Mm-hmm. So that the saints are to minister, okay? And he just brought out that the pastors, although they are a gift to the church, for the sake of equipping the saints for the work of ministry, the pastors are in need of that same ministry because they have the same needs as any other believer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so
who is going to minister to the pastors, Leighton?
That's right.
This seems like this is a big dilemma.
Well, the saints are.
But they are.
Oh, so it's reciprocal.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Well, the pastors are to give teaching and to
build up or to
edify,
to give
tools to the saints so that the saints can minister. But I think let's not think too narrowly about what do you think of when you think of ministry, like the saints, the ministry of the saints. What falls into that?
I mean, the first things that come to mind are things like food for someone who's sick, maybe a newborn, and the mom needs some help with food, visiting the elderly. Mm-hmm. Those are some of the first things that come to mind.
I would agree. I think it could also
visiting
be
those in prison.
Yeah, pastors that are in prison. Yep.
Oh, for pastors, you're saying?
Well, I'm like all the things you're saying are right.
We laugh.
I'm like applying it then to like how does it look to minister to a pastor?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think one of the main ways for the saints to minister, especially to one another, is like fellowship and like just relationship. Relationship is one of the most fundamental needs of a person. And so, like, I think that when fellowship happens, it doesn't, I think you can do this selfishly, but I think, like, fellowship meals, when done in a healthy way, they are 100% biblical. And fellowship is one form of the saints ministering to one another because they're providing relationship to one another. It's fundamental needs. And sometimes I think a pastor can be put on such a pedestal that it almost like strains the relationship or almost makes it seem like, well, the pastor's superhuman because he's the pastor, so he doesn't have the same needs, and also I don't know if I can relate to the pastor in the same way that I can someone else in my congregation. So sometimes the pastor isn't included in like regular talk.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Or,
did
yeah.
you go hunting last week? Yeah, like what you would talk about just a random topic with someone else in your church about like, hey, how's work going? Or hey, you coming over to the barbecue tonight and whatever. I think for some weird reason, and I'm not saying that this is like the fault of just people in church. It might also be like how pastors portray themselves. Like it's, I can't like point to one problem, but one way or another, I think there's this idea that pastors just, you can't relate to them in the same way that you would someone else in church. And because of that, they actually miss out on one of the fundamental ways that the saints minister.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with you that it is easy to view pastors as different than your other, like to exclude them from your friend group because it feels like they're I don't know, like they're different.
They probably
It
they wouldn't be interested in the barbecue that I'm having, this coming weekend. Yeah.
It is weird that you say that because, like, literally, like, if I'm talking with someone and a preacher comes up to us.
You quickly changed the topic.
Shh, be quiet.
He's gonna know. He's gonna know.
It's like in like deep back. I'm like, I gotta be careful. Like what I say, like not actually careful, but in like literally, I feel like it's like there's something there's like it just feels a little different, you know?
Sure.
So Leighton, did you have more to say, Nicholas?
That's it.
I want Leighton, what have you done, or what did the book recommend you do to break down those walls, or
I actually, I'll be honest, I don't remember.
or what are you doing? What are you trying to do?
Well, one thing that I already have thought very seriously, like even the year before that, I read a book called The Other Half of Church, which kind of addresses the same thing, but heavily on relationship. Like relationship within the church is just as important as the truth that is preached and is believed. Like if you have no relationship, you've missed the point of having the truth. You know, the point of truth is so that you can actually have meaningful, real relationship. Relationship based on a lie is not relationship. It's a facade.
I mean, I don't think you can actually have a relationship if there's not truth and trust there.
I agree.
And we've got guest or co-host number 4 joining us.
Plug him in.
Plug that in there.
Plug that.
Plug that in number 1, and then take this out. What's this? That's gonna be loud.
Plug your ears, audience.
I have it muted.
Oh, I still hear it though. Oh, him.
I have, channel 1 muted.
Oh, plug him in.
All right, so this is Theodore. I guess I didn't, podcast listeners out there, I didn't say who it was. Theodore joined the podcast. He's now back for the first time since being back from Colorado.
Welcome.
Where were we at?
So what has it done for me? I've just, I guess I've tried to be more intentional, like during our fellowship meals, to like really talk, and
Unzip your lips. Now,
have conversation with people that I wouldn't normally talk to, maybe
About anything? Or
about
just serious things?
no, not just serious things, like stuff. I don't think that it means that you have to dive into like the deepest, darkest depths of a person, but you got to start somewhere. And if you come away knowing more about a person than when you originally started that meal, then I think you pushed in the right direction. You moved the needle.
I've got a question that's kind of related to this here. We're having we're part of a small group
Oh,
for the first time at Living Hope, and our first meeting is tomorrow night.
And aren't you the leader?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But the question that I had was, how do you get to know each other? Because these are people, there's some that I do know very well, but there's some that I don't know well. So what's a good way to...
A good icebreaker.
Good icebreaker, but really, icebreakers I think can be cheesy. Because I really want to get to know these people.
yeah.
So how do you kind of said just like talking with people or sitting down with people you don't normally talk or sit with.
Yes.
So how do you bridge that gap or start that relationship?
I don't know if you can like fast forward it, but if you try to dive in deep like too soon, I think it'll actually stymie the relationship. It'll be like, okay, so he's asking, like, this is our second meeting. This is the second
First
time
meeting.
This is the first meeting I've ever talked to Reuben, and he's leading. The first question is, name your deepest, darkest secret. Name the most heinous sin you ever did.
What book did you read last year that most changed your life?
That's not
No.
the worst
In what
question,
daily way?
but
That's
it's
lame.
definitely not the best.
That's lame.
No, yeah.
I think it should be like, hey, what's your favorite color? What's the name of your kids? And
How much money do you have?
just simple, basic questions like, what's your social security number? Okay?
What's your mother's maiden name?
That's right. I don't know.
Simple.
You can't fast forward a relationship. But I
That's-
will say
that's a
that
good reminder. You're
how
saying,
long does the small group go until it like dissipates or it goes into the next thing?
I mean, before the group changes?
Yes.
I think it's 2 years.
That's too short.
That's pretty tight.
I'm not
Like-
sure. I'm not
like,
sure.
I'll be honest. Like, so our young marrieds group, and it is still the young marrieds group. Don't give me that high, Nicholas.
It's
There's another group that has a second young marrieds group has also started.
A
you're now the-
younger?
No. We're,
Younger men,
Is there a
younger.
third now? No, maybe not. Or the next one started. Are you with Justin's
no,
group?
I'm saying you.
I know, are you in Justin's group?
Yes.
Okay, then okay, we were second one. Okay.
Okay. So there's two young marrieds group that coexist.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There's a younger and a not so young.
Old.
There's a young marrieds group and an even younger marrieds group. Okay, that's what it is. It took, when we first started out, we meet once a month, roughly. Some months we miss, but most times it's once a month. And when we first started out, the first year, amongst us guys, it was kind of awkward, but the ladies, our wives, they got along great. And the original vision behind having the young marrieds group is because somehow in that calendar year, like within that 2-year time span of all of us getting married, there was always one spouse, either the husband or the wife of that couple was from out of state.
Wow.
And so they needed a way to get to know people, and so we decided to form this thing.
Wow.
The first year, it was awkward for us men, and the ladies like cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. But after about
As
a
they do.
year and a half,
The women got awkward.
yes. No, I don't know. And then after a year and a half, we like started to, like the men, we started like, hey, these are my brothers, you know? And then we went through the ultimate marriage course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And that was awesome. That was incredible. Like
Wow.
it was like kind of the perfect timing, but if we would have gone through that course
Oh.
like at the
the beginning?
beginning, it would have fell flat. It would have been awkward and weird and whatever. But we like when we get together now, it's been probably 4 years, 5 years. When we get together, we're like, I am so glad to see you. It is so good to be around you guys.
And you're
Wow,
being
that's cool.
honest.
Yeah. Like this time I don't have to lie. I never have
Yeah.
to lie.
Hey, we got an edible.
Oh yeah, we do.
We got 2 minutes left over. So this is apple butter.
I got 1 minute.
from Parks Farm. You can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
Where'd
No.
you get it?
How did you buy it?
That's for Kaffa.
I stole it. No, it was a gift.
This is copywritten.
There's someone from our church. His name is Joseph Parks. His family used to make and sell apple butter, but now they just make it kind of for themselves, and they
still have
give it
stickers.
to family. Yeah, they still have their logo and stickers. So that's what we had today. Sorry, listeners, visitors, viewers, you can't.
Taste the rainbow.
So we're gonna try this out.
You can cut it in half.
Schnatz. Schnatz and hot.
Is it good?
It is good. It brings back memories of Yoder's in Florida.
Oh, that is.
Very good.
I probably should have put on a little bit thicker, the apple butter.
Well, or slice the bread a little thinner. One or the other.
Is it from Goshen?
No, it's towards Fort Wayne.
What? They live that far away.
Well, his family. He doesn't live that far away, but his family. What does this do? But yeah, this is good. So Parks family, apple butter. How would you... Is apple butter one word or two?
I'd say 2.
Word of the week is ministry.
All right, Leighton is actually leaving. Bye, Leighton.
Thanks for the butter.
All right,
I gotta go.
we'll do... What were you saying, Nicholas?
I gotta go 2.
Oh, okay. Well, what is the point?
Minister to the saints.
Pastors are sheep too.
The point is women talk too much. It takes a while. It takes more than 2 years to get to know someone in a small group setting.
You said 1 year.
No,
Year and a
I
half.
say 2. I'm saying if your group disbands in 2 years, it's too soon. The audience agrees.
And I think apple butter is 2 words. But here it's spelled as 1.
No, I think it would have spelled
It's
it as
one-
one.
Because how apples is a thing, butter's a thing. You can't just have apple butter.
Is peanut butter 1 word?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. Anyway, we do have to wrap it up. Nicholas also has to go. Theodore, it was good to have you. Hopefully we'll have you back more regularly. Jeff couldn't make it today. Not sure why. But our word of the week. What is our word? What is our word of the week?
Apple butter.